having this session. I realize you didn't dig the hole that we're in, but we're counting on you to help dig us out of the hole.
I want to
So
do that.
that maybe would be a message that I hope you're getting from the
I want to do
entire
that.
group, is that we're behind you.
Okay.
Have courage. You've got to do it on the revenue side, and you have to have courage
I agree
to
with you.
stand up to the people who've been around for a while, that think they have all the answers.
agree.
But they're the ones that dug the hole.
I agree with
Okay?
you.
So listen respectfully,
We do.
but also argue affirmatively and aggressively to get the revenues in. You have to get it on the revenue side. You're kidding yourself. The senior peers in both of your houses are kidding themselves, and they're irresponsible in terms of they're fulfilling their obligations in the state of Oklahoma if they don't aggressively deal with the revenue
Very-
side.
very
And
well
that's not toying with a
Very well
little
said.
use and sales or use tax here and there. I'm talking about gross production tax, income tax,
Agreed.
taxes on services. You have to be bold, and I hope you're coming away from this meeting with the sense of courage
Sure.
that we're behind you in taking those actions.
Sure. And I wish I could tell you which one
Well,
of those are coming.
start working on your list.
We
You're
are.
going to be back. You're going to be up for re-election
We are.
someday.
And so-
And you're accountable
So
to
we're
us.
trying-
Hang on.
trying-
Will you let me finish? You're accountable to us. You're not accountable to the other senators and representatives that have been around.
Scott,
So I want to do a few things. One, not only thank the two of you, but thank everybody in this room. The thing that's most encouraging to me is seeing all of you have this passion, energy, enthusiasm for what's going on there. Because I think the nature of there not having been town halls also tells me that there might not have been this much passion. So one of the questions I have for you, because we've heard some things today that I think are very enlightening. One, as freshman leaders, there's not a whole lot you can do. Two, the most profound thing you said, Carol, is it's a rural versus city challenge. And I ultimately think that's the number one challenge Oklahoma faces. So you are obviously our elected officials, but to use a coach analogy, you have a passionate group of players that are a team in front of you. How would you like to use this team to help your greater goal?
that's a good question.
Great question. Like Shauna, I'm going to use you as an example. She's been at the Capitol with her team, with her posse. And I stopped you at the hall the other day, and what did I tell you?
Yep, that it's leadership, we need to pressure leadership. And I know that's true because those are the same people telling Senator Rader the difference between restoration and restoring income taxes. And they are the ones that dug the hole, so I wouldn't listen to them for crap. We need to pressure the leadership. Because they're going, well, my people don't want it in our chamber. And I'm like, that's not true.
It's true.
Because I'm stalking their people every week.
On a lot of
This is
issues,
true.
and that's, yes, I appreciate all the emails
true.
and the phone calls. I get about 100 a day, and I get more than that, but I get about 100 emails and phone calls just from District 70. And one of the things I am doing is I actually have created a spreadsheet on the issues that you all are talking to me about, and I carry that around because I do believe that you elected me. So I appreciate your input. There are a couple that kind of started yelling at me and calling me names. That's not helpful. But when you come to me, what helps me, if my team, which is District 70, 38,000 people, give me a solution. What is a solution on that particular issue that you would like to see? You know, help me with the solutions because it is complicated. You know, we want to fund education. Well, where are we getting the money? I mean, remember my opening statement was we're not in the basement with the machine making money. So where am I going to get it? What is your ideas? Share that with me because, and there's been a couple of people that have given me ideas on revenue raising, and I've taken them to Leslie Osborne, the budget, and she's like, wow, that's a really good idea. You know, it was about 10 million, 20 million here, but they gave me ideas. I'm like, wow, I didn't think about a tax on fleets, you know, or there's lots of different, what we call honey holes that might be out there that we don't see or know about. So from my team, what I would like is tell me what your issue is and what's your solution so that I can take that up to leadership and go, look, my constituent has got this great idea. let me present it for you.
Again, I would ditto what Carol's saying there. I read every email, only respond to those that are in District 39. I hope you understand that, but I read them all. You just can't, if you're not in 39, thanks for writing, but you're not going to get a response from it. One of the things too, some of y'all are very good about reminding me, and that's good. I appreciate that. I'll give you one example. Shauna's come by and we have discussed education, and we've gone nose to nose on a couple items. Okay, but she has three things she's going to remind me of, because as I've been there now 8 weeks, and maybe Carol co-authored this with me. We're going to try to attempt to write a bill. We're going to write a bill, try to make a law that will increase your school district to be able to do bonds from 10% net assessed value to 15%. Take that extra 5%, let the superintendent have that 5%, and do with whatever she wants to do with it.
Okay, that's your idea, and I
Okay.
said I'd have to see it.
Okay? Okay, but you're supposed to remind me to check this out. This is your job.
I can do
You
that.
remember that? Okay? Because, as Carol pointed out earlier, this rural versus urban, I've given up on trying to reduce the number of districts. It's not going to happen. Okay? I've given up on some other things that we're just not going to have enough votes, because the rural school districts are going to, they don't see that. So what I'm going to try, what I'm saying here is then we have to come a different way. That's what I'm saying. We have to come a different way. We have to do things different. So if we want to raise our taxes in Tulsa County, because Tulsa County, or Tulsa Public Schools, Tulsa County is a donor county when it comes to education. We give more to the big pot than what comes back. Then we're going to have to, instead of me voting for something that helps education statewide, and you all continue to be a donor county, I want to put my efforts into something that helps us. If we want to raise our taxes, then we vote for it and the money stays in our school district.
But is education a public good for the whole state, and we don't want to make
Yes.
other
That's right.
districts? That's where I differ with you.
No,
We don't
we're
wanna
saying the
make
same
other
thing.
districts
I
that are
agree with you.
poorer
No, I'm,
suffer because we're putting our money back into our own pockets.
And student mobility rate.
Cutting
see,
off his head.
we're not,
What?
because
I keep cutting
we're
off his
donors.
head.
We've been given to the poor
But
counties.
with your.
And we have 9 counties that for 30 years have not kept up their ad valorem taxes.
but-
So as your ad valorem taxes have gone up these 30 years, these 9 counties have held them the same, which causes you to be more of a donor county.
That's fine, that's fine.
It's
We
not
get along.
fine. That's hundreds of
It's
millions
fine
of
with
dollars.
me because I consider education a public good.
That's
I
hundreds of
consider the
millions of
state
dollars that haven't
Oklahoma
gone to
my-
education.
My pocketbook, not me personally. My taxes, I know, go to the state of Oklahoma for
Yeah.
education, and I'm fine with that, because I want all Oklahomans are gonna be.
Okay, then you made a...
Exactly,
you
and
made a-
I'm not, I have 2 children, you know this, I
Yeah.
have 2 children, I love them, I want them to be, but I also care about your child, and I care about everyone
Yeah, then-
else's child, because it is a
But if-
public good.
but if that's-
Education is for the whole
Right,
state.
but if that's not going to happen, would you give me the leeway to say, okay, then let
No,
us
I
do our own
wouldn't.
thing?
No, I wouldn't.
We want to do our
Yeah,
own
but
thing,
I
because
wouldn't.
we want to help our public
Because,
schools.
because there are a lot of other districts that don't have the funds that one district may have, or if my child goes to private school and that money, like you had mentioned to me before, if
Privilege.
that money would go back to the district, then all of the smaller districts or the poorer districts that don't have families who can afford to send their kids to public school will bear the burden of larger
Private
classes and
schools.
less money, where the wealthier districts
Privilege.
where kids go to private schools, that money would go back in their pockets. Tulsa Public Schools would have smaller classes and more resources. That to me is not equal, and that's why I say.
Okay, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying.